Hey, Sooner football fans. This is your Sooner Football Fans podcast. You got Terry, Rob, and Caleb here. Boomer Rob.
Boomer Terry.
Boomer Caleb.
Boomer.
And we are coming at you from the Podcast Palace in Norman, Oklahoma.
Where we are not affiliated with the University of Oklahoma.
But we do have eligibility left. Let's get all the humdum out of the way. First off, make sure and like. I just went blank. You ever have those moments? I'm getting old.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Check out our YouTube channel. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you are listening to us on the iTunes app or Apple app or iTunes, rate us and put a comment in. We've got an A1 rating on iTunes, but we need more ratings. And what that does, if you will go in and do that, that moves us up the rating list.
Are there lots of people in there talking about how sexy I am?
Not yet.
Oh, okay. Well, I feel like that's coming, or it should be.
It should be
I'm
coming.
just saying.
So make sure to do that. We're asking you to do that. And when you see our posts on Facebook and Twitter, share them to your page, share them with your friends, retweet them, tweet them,
Comment at us.
Yeah. Did you, before we move on real quick, Rob, did you get any DMs today?
No, I don't believe I did.
No Sugar Mama DMs?
No.
Okay.
Check, though. I mean, I guess that's a possibility.
So, first off, let's make sure and give a shout out to Dan from Tailgate Connect, tailgateconnect.com, where he hosted the UCLA Oklahoma Sooners tailgate.
And he's hosting the tailgate when we go to Army, right?
Yep. When we go to Army next year, he will be hosting the tailgate there. But what you need to do is go to www.tailgateconnect.com. And if you're going to be out of town and you want to experience some of the greatest tailgates in the country, go there. He can hook you up. Wherever you're at, he will find you a tailgate. They'll treat you right, all the food and drink that you can drink. So www.tailgateconnect.com. He is a Sooner fan and lives in California. And we also have another Sooner fan and alumnus, Dave Lamb, who is the founder of teambarfinder.com. Why sit at home? You're across the country. It's not like living here in Oklahoma where everybody gathers up for, you got to find Sooner fans in Arizona or Utah where the Mormons are at, right, Rob?
That's right.
And hey to all the Mormons out there.
Yes.
We do know we have Mormon fans because they message us.
Sir, hope I did not offend you. That was not my intention.
But why sit around at home with just you and your family? There are bars around the country that have Sooner watch parties. And that's where teambarfinder.com comes in. You can go there to that website or download the app on your phone and locate the Sooner watch party at a bar near you. Yeah. If you already have one that you go to and you want more Sooner fans to come, put your bar on there. More Sooner fans will come.
That's right.
Yeah. So I'm going to use that for OU Texas because I'm planning on going to a bar, OU Texas, and then go there after. So I'm probably going to use that there.
They've got them down there. So
you can't go to what's the one that we go down to and all the sports animal people are there?
Humperdinck's.
Humperdinck's. Yeah.
You can't go there because they don't show the game.
They don't?
That's weird.
That is really weird.
It is weird because they're like, we don't want the trouble. Okay.
Well, that's when we went to they didn't want to show the UFC fights at Humperdinck's either. Same
Remember
place.
when we were down there for the ball games?
Yeah.
We went to Humperdinck's.
They don't want to promote violence. I think that's what they said. So, all right. Well, you lost our business then.
Yeah.
So Terry, I want to share this. Somebody did slide into my DMs.
Somebody slid into the DMs.
Yeah, it was a dude though, so don't get this. He said, "Hey Rob, I'm a big fan up here in the Great North, Canada. I understand football, just don't understand the ranking system. How is OU ranked 6th? I apologize if it's a stupid question. #Boomer Sooner." So here's my response. Are you ready for this, everybody? Very technical.
Okay, go, Rob.
I said, "Hi, Rob. No one really understands the ranking system, and really it doesn't even matter until the end of the season. Hope that helps."
Or at least the playoff committee comes out their first rankings.
So, he didn't flip me off or anything. So, I feel like I did pretty well on that.
Yeah, and speaking of which, that was a good answer. Nobody knows the ranking system. Nobody can explain it. Even the guys who vote on the rankings can't explain it.
Right.
Of how it works. But I was going to share a tweet that we got from a new fan of the podcast. Let me find it here as I go through. Y'all talk about something.
Oh. Apparently, Lincoln said the crotch grab was funny. He got asked by George Schroeder. He asked me if it was funny. He goes, at the time it wasn't funny, but now you look back on it, yeah, it was kind of funny. So, crotch grab, funny now to Lincoln Riley.
Yeah. And hold on here. Rolling through. Okay. I'm not sure who this person is. Their handle on Twitter is OU Spy or Sooner RF. And responded to it. Great podcast. My first. Things I took from this. Number one, I am not a bandwagon fan because he listened to the one the other night, or they listened to the one the other night that we had. I am not a bandwagon fan. Number two, my personal favorite, Terry has a sexy pod voice. Number three, Dish and Fox sucks. Yeah, I missed the game. Sorry for that. 4, Oklahoma football is good. 5, Caleb can't remember the bet. So
we remember it for him, though.
Yeah, we remembered it for him. But OU Spy, I'm not sure who you are, but thank you for the kind words out there on the Twitter world, especially number 2. So, but Rob got asked instead of somebody sliding into his DMs with a sugar mama idea, they slid into a question. So
that's okay.
That's okay. That's what we're here for. And I had somebody slide into mine today because did you see? I haven't been to one single coach's show on Tuesday night. Rob, you've been to a couple.
Yep.
I guess the other night they're wanting the crowd to do the fist up.
Fist up.
That's kind of hard to say, isn't it?
Stroud.
It's kind of fist up.
Yep, fist up. You just
up.
need to go watch the video.
You need to go watch the video. But that is what the Sooner defense does when they get a turnover. They hold the fist up. And so they're wanting the whole crowd that when Oklahoma gets a turnover.
Turnover fist.
The turnover fist. So
I think it'll look cool.
So everybody's got the turnover chain, the turnover pencil.
And let me just say this, pardon me, while we're on it. If you don't watch the coach's show, you are missing Clark Stroud. He is, I believe his, and I hope, I'm not offending anybody, but I believe his title is President of Football Operations. He is a genius. I mean, he is hilarious. He also does the game ops meetings in the stadium.
Yeah.
And everybody's just rolling. I don't know how about you, Terry, but I hate meetings, especially when they're big meetings, 50, 60, 70 people.
More than 2 people is too big of a meeting for you, right, Rob?
Literally. And I'm telling you, he has us rolling about half the time, and it's good stuff, and it makes it worthwhile to do.
Yeah.
And so, give that a look and watch Clark Stroud. He's great.
Yeah.
He's got the coach rolling.
Yeah.
So.
They tweeted it out. Oklahoma football did his little speech there at Rudy's last night. So now I'm really sorry I missed it, but for sure we're going to make it there for OU Texas next week. So, Caleb, you going to make it there for OU Texas?
Probably not.
For Rudy's.
Listen, I want you to know.
I got next week. I'm trying to work like doubles every day because I'm trying to take that Friday off and get down there.
It is packed.
Oh yeah,
it is packed.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding you. Last night I watched, that same thing you watched, and it was packed last night. It's packed like that every week.
Yeah, yeah. So, first, but before we get into Kansas and all that fun stuff, let's talk about the horns down controversy that hit the University of Oklahoma on Tuesday. We made a comment, and when I say we, it's the podcast. I run the podcast Twitter. I probably spoke too soon. I was still upset about it. And nothing against the reporter that reported it.
We really like him.
Yeah, he's been on the podcast. But Toby Rowland, Rob listened to the same show I listened to. I was going to work. Clarified some things. So if you didn't hear the T-Row in the morning show, I don't know that he's retweeted it. I kind of left it up to him out there on Twitter if he wanted to explain it. But I'm not going to misquote him, I don't think. But basically, what he said with the horns down, the university controversy was, what happened was they were doing a photo shoot with a spirit club, and they asked them to do the horns down, and that spirit club president or whatever it is said that they are not allowed to do that. Okay? Meaning they're not allowed to do that in promotional photos.
Right.
Okay? There was no official statement, no meeting, no memo that went out to all the spirit clubs and said, stop doing horns down on the sidelines, It's simply the, quote, unwritten. I don't know that it's even unwritten, but it is, you are a ambassador to the university, publicly, when you're out in public or doing publicity shoots and publicity deals, you were to behave properly. That's part of the behavior that they state is you don't do.
Improper.
Yeah, is improper. It's not that they can't do it on the sidelines, or if the TV camera, a bunch of people tweeted out cheerleaders doing it and saying now they can't do it. They can. It's just if they are at a function. My understanding how Toby put it, and he called some people, and I hope I'm not misquoting him. You can correct me or wrong. It was basically, it's the rule that if somebody asks you to take a picture, or if you're doing a photo shoot or you're at a public event representing the university, is that you do not do that.
Right.
Okay, so
but
nobody's
But
going
any regular time is fine.
Yeah, nobody's going to get kicked off the cheer squad or anything.
Yeah, did you see those cheerleaders doing that?
Yeah, they're not going to get kicked off for doing that.
Is it weird that I saved that photo? I'm just joking.
So, it's not a new rule at the university. It is just it's just a rule that they have for situations like what they were in. I guess it got reported by the photographer that so-and-so told them they can't do it. It's against the rules.
Like some sort of mandate came down and said.
Nothing came down.
Yeah, no.
So you will see cheerleaders and everybody else in the world putting horns down next Saturday.
Hopefully.
Have you put horns down this week, Caleb?
No, I ain't got that point yet.
Not yet.
My hate for Texas doesn't really start until like the week of. Because like I said, I like them to be good just because I'm tired of us going in there with only us have something to lose, not them. So
yeah,
I want the game to actually mean something. I want them to do their part for once in their life.
Yeah.
The last 10 years.
Well, I mean, they'd have to climb down off our shoulders to do that. So.
Well, we'll get to more, let's save all that stuff till next week, all the Texas hate, and get on to one of the things I figured out is a town I am not moving to, or nor would I visit right now, nor would I have any desire to go to ever. But did you hear about in West Virginia, in Morgantown, in less than 4 weeks, they've had 2 pet boa constrictors, pythons, escape from people's homes.
That's surprising.
2 of them. Okay. The second one was 10 to 11 foot long. 4 months ago, they had one that was 15 foot long. They don't know where they're at. They are telling people to keep your small pets and children. Mm-hmm. Close. Okay. Why would you have a 15 or a 10 foot long snake in your house as a pet anyway?
They're about to die, though, anyways, because it's about to get cold.
Yeah.
So.
That just doesn't seem like a great idea to me, Terry. But
I don't get who got snakes as pets. Anyways are weird to me. I mean, it's probably listeners that happen. I don't like snakes.
Yeah, I don't like snakes
either. It creeps
either.
me out. But I know people like them. I just don't like a pet that like. I guess dogs bite you too. Play at them, I guess, but still, like a snake. I mean, like, yeah.
Its job is to kill you and eat you. The snakes, the dog isn't. The dog's to be a companion.
I mean,
so you can never have something like that and call it a pet.
They do, right?
I know they do, but it's not true because you cannot have pets. Do not eat you. Okay, so like a dog and a cat, those are pets because they'll let you pet them and feed them, and they love you back. And
right.
Snake doesn't ever love you.
No,
not ever, never ever. It will kill you and eat you if it could.
Yeah.
So
So
it's
with
like a
cats,
bear.
Too. Cats are the same way too. Cats actually.
You may have a tame bear,
No, you don't.
but
have
it's not
tame
a
bear.
pet.
You don't. There is no such thing as a tame bear.
I agree.
There is a such thing as a trained bear. But if that bear gets tired of doing what you've trained it to do, that bear's going to eat you.
It's going to eat you, and there's nothing you could do about it.
Yeah, yeah. These people that run around with them in their house, and the guy that the bear that was on all the movies about 10, 15 years ago, that giant bear that did the movie The Bear and was on the one with Anthony Hopkins, where that guy said, yeah, he's trained, but if he I don't ever expect him to, but if he turned on me,
he wakes up on the wrong side of the bed one day and you're dead.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. I used to know a dude that had wild animals like that he took in and helped them and whatever, and he had a bear that would drink soda pop. He would like, come and take it from you, because we were like, hey, we're going to bring the kids out, and he's like, yeah, don't bring any soda pop, because he will come and get it from you, and there's nothing you can do about that. But he was telling me that he was out in the pasture field, I don't know where we kept these animals, and he had an emu, and he said most of the time this emu is just real docile, and he said all of a sudden he got kicked by the emu and knocked him out, and he said when he came to, the emu was still there, and he grabbed him and broke his neck. So I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't. No, thanks.
No. Is there any type of wild animal pet that you would have, Caleb?
That's a good question.
Let
me think about it.
Well, we had some friends that they trapped a bobcat once, and they put it in a dog cage, big outdoor dog pen, and all that thing did when you would walk up to it was want to get out and attack you.
Right.
I mean, it was just jumping up and down and just screaming and running. I'm
close.
Like, why do you have this?
Yeah. Go in your place, tie the string, and pull the thing, and be in your house so they can run away when you.
Yeah. No. But snakes especially. I don't understand anybody who has a snake that.
Yeah, you can't pet a snake.
Yeah. Not a.
Well, they do. I mean,
not a little garden snake, not a little king snake. They're not pets, especially a 15-foot long python.
And you know what else I can't stand? Why do people own tarantulas?
That's the question.
I mean, that's like eating shrimp. Ugh. Yuck.
No, shrimp's great.
Shrimp's great, Rob.
Shrimp's
okay.
Awesome.
I'm just saying, if it wasn't dry land, would you pick it up and eat it? The answer is no, because that would be nasty. And it's the same just because it's in the water.
Okay. It's a mud bug. Isn't that what you're saying? It's a mud bug.
Yeah. I'm out.
No. Tarantulas, I don't understand. What's another one?
That you shouldn't?
Yeah, that you shouldn't have.
So my dad told me that growing up, of course, they're from a little small country town where they walked uphill both ways to school and, in bare feet and that. Anyway, their neighbors had a raccoon.
I had a friend had a pet raccoon.
He said the raccoon was great to the family that owned it, but anybody that walked by the yard was getting attacked by that raccoon. I'm like, no.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
I'll pop a couple in them and it'll be done.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Raccoons, birds. I don't understand people having pet birds either. I don't get it.
Well, it would be annoying. Yeah. I mean, it would be funny to hear the parakeets or the ones that talk.
Yeah,
that would be kind of hilarious, but it sure would get old quick.
Yeah, and fish. I don't understand people. We had a fish tank once, and for one, I couldn't keep it clean. I don't know why. Everybody else I know that has a fish tank, it's all pretty, fish swimming around in it. I got a fish tank. We tried it once, and it was like.
Maybe if I had one outside in the big goldfish or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't want one inside.
No. So, I don't understand fish tanks either. But I also found a part-time job, or maybe just a seasonal job as well. There is a betting tips website seeking an NBA food taster. To get paid $500 to review stadium food offerings at various NBA venues. The chosen applicant will receive $500 plus spending money to try out menu items offered at NBA games during the 2019-20 season. The person will then be asked to rank the food items in order of deliciousness. Their website will provide game tickets to 3 to 5 games. Interested sports fans are instructed to follow @Pickwise on Twitter and reply to the competition tweet with a photo showing them attending a sports game, eating food, or doing both activities at once. That would be a...
For somebody who likes basketball, that would be right up.
There you go, Caleb. You can... They'll send you around to 3 to 5 games, $500 plus spending money.
You know how many pro basketball games I've been to?
How many?
Wait a minute. Does the Harlem Globetrotters count?
Yes, they get paid.
Then 2 Harlem Globetrotters games. That's it.
Which, great segue, Rob. I know you didn't mean to do that.
I did.
But we need to get into this pay-for-play issue that the state of California, and the segue I'm talking about was the basketball segue, because why is LeBron James promoting this pay-the-athlete deal?
Well, his son's about to be a...
Okay, here...
His son's like...
his son needs money.
His son's like the one of the biggest recruits, and so he's about to be like a... I mean, he's about to go to college like around when he would become legal. So.
LeBron James needs to shut the hell up, okay? Because he was an amateur athlete in AAU.
Well, he got in trouble in high school too for getting a Hummer. So I mean, that's another reason why too. But his mom got a Hummer. She got a loan now because she knew she'll pay it back. Her son will pay it back.
Yeah, people gave him loans on what they.
They got his mom a loan.
But here's the
that's why he has a big beef with NCAA in the first place because of that. That's why he's talking about it.
Well, but that's what I'm saying.
Almost cost him a national championship in high school.
But the thing is he said, what's one of the reasons why I went pro was because, going to college, I couldn't get my mom out of where she was from. Bull crap. You were good enough to come out of high school and play in the pros. You never had any intention of going.
Well, now they're forced to now, so that's why they're trying to get rid of that too, though.
So, number one, LeBron James needed to butt out. Okay? He was never a college athlete. He shouldn't have his nose in it. Number two, y'all's thoughts. Pay for play. Okay, what the California law is saying is that, and it doesn't go into effect for like 3 years.
Florida was got one crew for trying to get one crew for next year.
But they can have agents and they can sell their likeness or be paid for their likeness. What are your thoughts?
It's about time. I mean,
it's about time.
Yeah, I mean.
So you think it would be fair for Jalen Hurts and CeeDee Lamb to have pictures taken to them and their autographs and be paid $10,000 and let's see, what's the kicker's name? Burfict. Not get anything because nobody wants a picture or an autograph of a kicker.
I mean, so would you get a picture of Tom Brady or the kicker for the Patriots?
No, I'm asking
It's the same thing. It's the same thing else in the world.
But they're amateur athletes.
They're not amateur athletes. They're not amateurs. Like the whole point, they're not. So I mean, it's like you get paid. It's like America. You get paid for your worth.
So then what's going to happen is these California athletes or people going to go to California because guess what? There's more money in California.
There's more money in the South. I mean, like I said, if this happens everywhere, like SMU's gonna be a powerhouse again. They have the most money of everyone. They have the oil money. It's more than anyone else.
So Rob, what's your thoughts?
So I know I'm going to be in the minority here, but they are getting paid.
Yes, they are.
I mean, it costs a bunch to food and house, not to mention the education, books, clothes, travel, everything they get is part of the agreement they make with whatever university they go to. Now, is it enough? I don't know. Maybe not. But do I think they should get paid? No, because they are representing a university and not themselves.
Right. I think if the NCAA or the universities can get together and govern and go,
NCAA was never going to do that because it's a monopoly. They don't care about that.
That they even playing field, that you can pay your players. You give them the education, all this stuff. Because like I said, this ain't the 70s and 80s and the 60s. These guys aren't hurting for anything. Okay. They are taken care of by the university. They get a stipend now. I don't know how much it is. But if they would say all athletes get paid $30,000 a year plus their all the other things they get. Now you're going to have schools go, well, we can't afford that. We're not as big. Okay, then you're no longer a Division I school.
Too bad. That's how it works everywhere else in the world.
Which would narrow this down to we could have a real playoff in college football. But Because let's face it, Tulsa's not going to be able to do that.
No. Most schools.
Most schools won't.
Pretty much zero out of the top the Power 5 schools will be able to.
Yeah, but somebody said, I can't remember, CBS paid something like $3.6 billion with a B dollars for the rights to the NCAA Final Four.
Just a tournament, that's it.
Marched.
I mean, the ESPN rights to football is like over $1 billion. Like, they have money. Money's the problem. Like, they have so much money. They're spending it all on new facilities every year.
Right.
That's all that money goes to. It's for them saying we don't have money, but instead of getting players' money, they just build new stuff for their
bigger, nicer.
That's the reason why the pros, college facilities are 10 times better than pros, because that's what they spend on the money on. Like, I mean, pretty much, I think the best way to do it is just give them a salary cap.
Yeah.
Everyone has a salary cap. You all have the same cut salary cap, and then pretty much you got to pick and choose, like how every other sport is.
If they let, which what California has done, and it may be repealed and redone. If they let agents on the universities, it'll ruin college football. Period.
They're already there pretty much.
Well, there's a line there that they're going to cross, and they won't be able to go back.
I mean, the whole thing is NCAA. I think if NCAA doesn't play ball, I think what's going to happen is that the big schools are going to succeed in NCAA and create their own thing.
Yeah.
Like OU, like all the big SEC, Big 12, they're all just leave the NCAA and say, all right, if we can't let us play, we'll just do our own thing then, and which is there'll still be college football. It just be a different level of it.
Yeah.
So I mean, because they have enough money to do it. Money's not the issue.
So I think they should go the other way. I think they should give it back to the fan. Well, hear me out, because you know how I feel about tickets being $1,000.
Right.
If you're saying, well, they're making all this money and the player doesn't get any of it. Well, that's not true, because whatever it costs for a person to live on the university and go to school there and get all your books and food and tuition and everything covered, that's worth a lot.
Right.
A lot. There's not a lot of kids graduating these days without huge student loans.
Right.
Okay. If you just charge less for a ticket, then everybody could go to a game. And of course, I know the University of Oklahoma is not. I mean, we're selling out no matter what the prices are. I'm just saying that if you got a problem with them making so much money, then let's give some back to the fan.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, not make it. Now if you you don't buy season tickets. You donate money, you're a donor, and you receive tickets.
Right.
If you buy tickets at the gate, now that you're buying tickets. But season ticket holders, we are donors. We're a member of the OU club, which is
Is that tax deductible?
I think it is.
Not anymore.
Probably not.
No, I'm telling you, not anymore. It's not. It used to be.
Yeah.
It's not anymore.
Well, I think it's going to happen, because I mean, pretty much already now, all the southern states have filed for that thing now. Ohio's filed for it. It's like as soon as it got passed, like all the others, because they can't get behind. So I mean,
but the thing they have to do is that every school has to follow. Like you said, it would have to be a cap.
It'd be professional sports. It'd be pretty much what college football is. I mean, college football is pretty much,
and it will ruin it.
But but pretty much like Oklahoma. I mean, I don't remember we did this last year. During the off season. I mean, what is it? Oklahoma's like a $500 million company.
They're over $1 billion. They're like one of the few schools over $1 billion. Just in football, pretty much.
There's so much money, and I think that's what people's complaint is, that there's so much money generated, and it's not that and I'm with you, Rob. I'm not going to sit here and go, these kids get nothing. They get an education. That dorm up there is nice. They eat good.
They eat good now. That's new.
They get so many pieces of clothing, and not just football. That's every sport.
Oh, right.
Every sport's walking around in Jordans. They're getting that stuff thrown at them. The university's getting it thrown at them. I mean, it is what it is. But, I mean, you would have to have, okay, here's how much you can pay your football players. Here's how much you can pay your basketball players, tennis players, golf players.
Well, everybody's got to be in on it.
Yeah.
So even the girls' soccer team, they're going to go, hey, why don't we get paid as much as the football players?
Which is like the same thing.
Well, it's because you're not making as much revenue.
Right.
Well, that shouldn't matter.
It does matter. That's how America works. That's how everything works in the world. It's all business. That's all it is.
Okay, I understand that. But what we're saying is we should do all this because they want it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, this is how it is. That's your argument used against you kind of a thing.
That's how the world. I mean, college sports is the only thing that the real world doesn't like, especially America. College sports is the only thing that's not like America. Pretty much. And you don't get paid for what you're worth. Pretty much.
we got probably the greatest softball.
They would get a lot of money too. Our softball team would be dominant.
Yeah,
they already said.
I mean, but you'd also they wouldn't get as much as the football players.
Well,
they're there every year and every year. Okay, well, let's play a softball game, and I am not talking down to the softball team or women's sports, but let's have a softball game in Memorial Stadium and see if it sells out. It won't.
No, it won't even get close.
But they will be the second highest revenue probably. Yeah. Like they'll get they will because their players came out and said this was legal then. Like there's $1,000 they could have got for free for appearances.
Yeah,
because they're asked everywhere around here. Like I know a lot of people are softball. Like they can charge you for appearances for anything.
Yeah,
and they can't do that now. But I mean, it's just like it's gonna happen. I mean, it's also like my biggest point too. Like if they're student athletes, like I don't get if you get hurt and you're making straight A's, they can cut you. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
I mean, they can have it both ways, but they have it both ways though.
But and the other agreement is or statement is that every kid on a scholarship, full scholarship to University of Oklahoma, non-athletic,
they can take those away in any second.
But they can go around and do anything they want to earn money. But a football player can't.
Yeah.
A softball player can't. A soccer player can't. There's certain things that you have to do. First off, for one, I don't know how you would have time to have a part-time job or go do something because
they're full-time working.
That's why they provide all their food and clothing. And
you're also we're leaving out health insurance.
Yeah.
You think if Jalen Hurts had the sniffles, was it Monday or Tuesday at the press conference? You don't think that he's had the best doctors in Oklahoma taking care of his cold?
Listen, that stuff they get to use in the locker room, that's better than any 5-star spa you've ever been in. I promise.
So, I mean, there's health care that you throw in there, and let's talk about the cost of health care. I mean, we pay us. What I was saying is all that is included in this scholarship. They get
but their
scholarships,
like it's like a contract. Like their scholarship can be taken away.
Right. They need to stop that. I mean,
scholarship can take away any time. Like when someone gets a scholarship, it doesn't mean they're on school for. It's not guaranteed. Like they can take that away instantly.
Right.
Scholarship be gone like that.
Well,
so I mean, all these
just
things
like any contract.
Yeah, but they aren't. But this isn't different than all other contracts. So they have all those other rights to the contracts. You still get rights still.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have rights for that. I mean, it's just. It's right now. It's broken, and something needs to change with it because it's not.
But everybody has to be in agreement with how it's going to be.
I mean, I think the salary cap is the best way to do it, but it's still going to be hard. But just because it's hard doesn't mean you shouldn't do it.
Right. And I'm not saying that they, because again, I know a diploma from the University of Oklahoma, for any university, but will take you a long way in life, and I think the time and the effort and the amount of money that the universities are making off of these kids, and the demands that we as fans put on these kids, they deserve more, I think, and where they got to figure out how to give them more and keep it on an equal plane.
Well, think about it this way too. Here's just another little thing, and I'm not trying to be picky. I don't want anybody to say, "Hey, Rob, don't want to pay the players." That's not necessarily true. But think if they weren't on a scholarship and they were paying for the coaching that they're receiving, it would be big money.
Yeah,
it would be big money. So they're getting all that for free.
Right.
They're getting the education for free. They're getting the clothes, the food. It's not like they're not making.
Yeah, it's not
money.
like they're not getting anything in return.
Right.
Maybe they're. I'm just saying maybe they're. It's just like if in anybody's job, if every year your company makes more money,
you get a bonus.
That money should roll downhill, all the way downhill. It doesn't always work that way, especially with the company I'm with. But
capitalism at its finest.
Yeah. But what college football is worth now and what college football was worth in the 1990s and 80s is ridiculous. I mean, the amount of money that they are being paid. We've talked about this before, man. There was there were 2 games on Saturdays in college football. There was ABC game of the week and an SEC game and I think a night game.
I know.
And you listen to your team on the radio. Now every football team is on TV.
Yeah.
And
If you didn't have radio, you sat out in the car. And people were like, what are you doing in the car? I'm listening to the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Of course, that was before I could drive,
yeah,
10. Because I was driving at 12, I promise you.
I was too. But yeah, you listen to the game, and now ESPN, like we said, paying billions, and they're paying billions and billions of dollars for this because they know that billions and billions of people are going to watch it.
It's big business, no doubt about that.
And that advertisers are going to pay to advertise on it. So, that's the world we live in.
I mean, that's the reason why you lost the games in the first place is because they're using the likeness in the games. Yeah. That's the reason I want this to happen too, because we have to play football back. Yeah. I mean, that's the biggest thing, most important thing that's going to happen to get that game back. I mean, but it's just. It's only a matter of time. Like the momentum towards it's just too much, and like I said, once the California gets passed, as soon as that gets passed, the Southern schools are going to get that passed instantly. Like I said, Florida's already put a thing for it. Alabama's already put one up for it. Arkansas, Mississippi, like they've already now put claims up for it now to try to get it passed through their states. It's like as soon as it gets going, it's going to happen like that. I think what's the next 2 or 3 years, it's going to be everywhere. And then it's going to be up to NCAA to partner with them, or we'll probably just break off with NCAA. Which
I think the only problem that I really have with it is what problems is it going to create?
Right.
For instance, the transfer portal.
Mm-hmm.
They 4 games, right? You get to play 4 games. People are like, all right, I'm going to play them 4 games, and if I'm not a starter, I'm going to hit the transfer portal and go somewhere else.
Right.
So that's a negative effect that they weren't expecting from.
Well, I think this one it'd be like going to pros. You'll sign a contract. Like you have to be here for at least 3 years, a 3-year contract. So pretty much if that happens, it'd be like a professional team. Like they'll have signed contracts. So that transfer stuff, the best way to do it is have a salary cap. You can sign a certain amount of players, and then once they sign a contract, either like the organization can trade them, but the players can't leave like they can right now in transfer portal. But like I said, it'll become a pro thing. It'll become professional.
I'm just saying there could be a whole lot of negative things that come out of it that we were not expecting.
Yeah. Anyway, so
it would be crazy though. I mean, it's gonna happen though. It's just gonna be.
I thought you were raising your finger to say something wrong.
Nope.
Did you know that there is a series on ESPN Plus about Les Miles right now?
Yeah, I knew that. Yeah, it's like from week to week.
Did not know that.
It's called Miles to Go.
Ah.
And it's about the Kansas football Kansas football program and Les Miles and his journey there and the journey into Kansas. What is Kansas football? Who the hell is watching that?
You just might as well be watching grass grow.
A lot of people like Les Miles. It's smart for Les Miles. Keep his name out there.
But I mean, seriously. I mean, is anybody going on ESPN Plus?
Caleb is.
I would watch it because Les Miles is funny.
I'd watch it if nothing else was on.
Like, you can choose anything that's on there because it's ESPN Plus. It's all you can watch anything on there. But I mean, it's smart on his part because he's keeping.
Well, I understand that. I understand that, but I literally Kansas football fans. Is there enough of them out there that ESPN went, "Hey, we're going to do a story"?
I think it's more of a Les Miles thing, not in the Kansas. I guess Kansas. Do you see Kansas' name on that title? What's it called?
It's Miles to Go, but the star of it is Les Miles and Jeff Long. Mm-hmm. He's the athletic director. The series will have 18 episodes and run throughout the college football season. It started in August.
It's all about Les Miles, pretty much, which is smart because Les Miles gets people attention because he's a weird dude.
Yeah. Speaking of him being a weird dude, what kind of hair dye do you think Les Miles uses? Just for men, Auto Stop men's hair comb in hair color? Clairol Natural Instinct semi-permanent hair color kit for men? Big and Easy hair color for men? Pure and Natural henna powder? Or Goldwell for men reshade gray blending power shot? Because that funky red hair he's got now.
This is a real question.
Yeah, I'm asking.
Okay.
What do you think he wears?
Boy.
What do you think he puts in to get that funky red hair now, Caleb?
I think just for men, because I don't know what it is. I don't know.
He just uses the juice from berries.
The juice from berries.
Hey, it's hang 'em and bang 'em here in at Tampa Bay right now.
Hang 'em and bang 'em.
Yep. Manea's hanging them and they're banging them.
Well, the team that Kyler should be playing tonight in the wild card game for the A's. Instead, he chose football. Gave the A's their money back.
I don't know. What do you think? Was that a bad decision?
You get paid more, right? Play football, right?
Yeah, much more.
But the A's are up. No, the A's are down right now, 3-0.
Yeah, because the Rays are banging them. Manea's hanging curveballs, and that's back to back, wasn't it, Caleb?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for that game, yeah, sucks.
Well, what is that? What are they now showing? Global positioning of
Apex.
of-
How far would gone if it didn't hit the wall? 'Cause it hit the big wall in the
437 feet.
center field. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Timed up. You got lucky. Anyway,
that lady don't look like she's enjoying being the ball girl, did she? She's like, oh man, I gotta walk out there again and pick this thing up.
That's like a huge field because we play football in that field as well too.
Yeah. So, any thoughts on Les Miles' hair color, Rob?
No.
None whatsoever.
Wait a minute. Nope.
Nope. You don't think it's weird?
I think it's weird that we're talking about it.
Have you seen it?
No, that's probably the other thing. Is it like cherry red or something? Because
yeah, Google it up. I mean, you saw the Dr. Pepper commercials last year with him in them.
It was like dark black last year.
Yeah,
I think it's still dark black, isn't it?
No, it's like dark red.
All right, I'm Googling it up. I'll let y'all know how it comes out.
Google it. We'll be here like for 6 hours, Caleb, waiting on Rob to Google up Les Miles' hair. So, coming into the game, while Rob's Googling, what's the deal? Khalil Herbert or Herbert? What's his name?
The running back from Kansas?
Yeah, that left the team.
Oh, he left?
Yes, you didn't hear about that?
No, I didn't hear about that.
He left before the game last week.
What? Wasn't he like their leading rusher because Pooka was hurt?
Yes. He left the team in Fort Worth.
Which, by the way, we're not making fun of his name this year.
No, we're not. Yeah, he left the team. Some speculated it was the 4 games, and he's pulled off and either go on the porthole or he's going to go pro or wants to go pro.
That's interesting.
But today, Les Miles and the University of Kansas football put out a tweet that says we would like to wish Khalil Herbert. Is it Herbert?
I think so.
And his family well moving forward, Miles said. With that said, Khalil is no longer a member of our football program and will not participate in any football activities. Herbert finishes his career at Kansas with 1,735 rushing yards, 14 touchdowns, and an average of 5.7 yards per carry.
So did he hit the transfer portal, or what happened here?
He just left. My understanding, I heard some people talking about it, that when they got to Fort Worth, he disappeared. I don't think he played in the game at all last week.
Huh. And
the speculation was the portal, or he was going pro. Somebody told him he needed to go. Well, why would you go pro now? There's no team going to pick him up now.
He's going to XFL, maybe.
Well, that could be. Maybe he goes to the.
But he's talking to Bob Stoops.
Maybe Bob Stoops went out there to Fort Worth.
There's something else. He's either flunking out or something, getting ready to get in trouble.
Something too. I mean, because Les Miles, he's not really. If you listen to Sam Ace talk about him, he doesn't really care about anything else as long as you can play football. That's all he cares about.
Yeah. So let's look at who Kansas, who comes into, or we go into Norman, but Kansas comes into, or we go into Kansas to play them. Kansas record is 2-3. They beat Indiana State 24-17,
and Boston College.
They lost to Coastal Carolina 12-7. They beat the Eagle Poo out of Boston College 48-24.
That's the only loss Boston College had all year so far.
Are they the Golden Eagles?
I think so.
Boston College are Golden Eagles, or are they just the Eagles? I
think they're Golden Eagles.
I think you're right. They're Golden Eagles. They lost to West Virginia 29-24, and then the Horned Frogs just
beat the crap out of them.
Dog slapped them or Jayhawks slapped them, or Horned Toad tapped on them. 51-14.
Yeah, that was a kicking.
So, Kansas isn't any better than what they were last year.
Well, I mean, did you watch the Boston College game?
I watched some of it. They were beating the crap out of them.
Really good. I was like, game for us.
Yeah.
But now, really, I mean, we should throttle.
Yeah.
Shouldn't we?
I think so. I mean, their quarterback, he's the only quarterback that's played. He's 84 of 129, 65% completion rating, 945 yards, averaging 7.3 yards per pass. Longest was 75 with 9 TDs, 4 interceptions.
Bold prediction.
Sacked 8 times.
Ready?
Okay.
Bold prediction.
Sacked 8 times.
We're going to knock him out of the game.
Bold prediction.
We're going to knock him out of the game. They're going to be playing with their backup.
Do you think we'll hurt the guy?
Either that or he's just going to go and suck his thumb and cry on the sidelines.
Yeah.
I think this might be our first shutout of the year. At least it should be our first shutout of the year.
Their rushing leaders was Herbert with 43 attempts, 384 yards, 8.9 yards per carry.
It's pretty good.
And 2 TDs. He's gone. We don't have to worry about him. And then there's the amazing Pooka, the amazing and fantastic, wonderfully named Pooka Williams Jr.,
who has not had a good game yet, right?
Has had 67 attempts and 308 yards for 4.6 yards per carry. Longest run is 17 yards.
Yeah,
he rushed more than he rushed more than that against us, didn't he?
Oh yeah.
Next is Carter, the quarterback, had 27 carries, and everybody else is just kind of dwindling on down. They've got a total 822 rushing yards, averaging 5 yards a carry against Indiana State, Coastal Carolina, Boston College, West Virginia. And I promise you it was a lot more than that before they played TCU.
Yeah. Well, my guess is we're going to do a lot of run blitzing. We're going to be coming after that quarterback. We're going to knock him out of the game.
And their best receiver is Parchment. He's had 28 receptions, averaging 13 yards a reception. Longest is 75 yards and has scored 4 TDs. So then there's a slew of other, not near as many.
Average players.
Yeah. So, Caleb, what are you thinking?
I mean, honestly.
Do we score at will?
We score well, and it's honestly, by the second quarter, we should be thinking about Texas. I mean, pretty much, let's get these guys out of there healthy, and then move on to the real competition. So I mean, just go out there, do what we did last week, dominate, hopefully shut them out, and then it should be good.
Does Kansas put up 40 points this year?
No.
Nope.
Mm-mm. Okay, what is acceptable?
7.
7?
7's only acceptable if they don't really put a drive together to get it.
They put up 14 on TCU, the number 1 defense in the Big 12.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say because we're going to have the backups in, but
hey, I tell you, last week, they put the backups in, and they moved the ball, and the backups came out when they started marching down the field. And
they should. If you don't do your job, you're coming out.
Well, I mean, they weren't going to let them score. Was the bottom line. They weren't going to give up any. But they put. There wasn't nobody out there, and all of a sudden the linebackers, Murray came back in, the linebacking crew, and then Gallimore and those guys, and then the defensive backs came back in. I mean, it wasn't like they put together this long drive, but they marched down pretty quick. They got past the 50, and the starters went back in. So they weren't going to let them score. They weren't going to give up a score, but with having the backups in, or not
That's
the
good.
backups, the lower depth.
That means it
players.
means something to the coaches. It means
Right.
To hold people off the scoreboard, and it should mean something to you too. So, I think it'll be low. I don't think they'll get 21 on us.
They better not.
7-10, maybe 10 points. I'll give them a field goal.
And those will probably be late.
Yeah. So Caleb's picking 10 points.
The most. I think
That's what's acceptable.
Yeah.
What would piss you off?
14 points. I mean, after last week, Texas Tech's offense is better than this offense. So, I mean,
sustained drives,
yeah,
them pushing us around, those things would piss me off.
Yeah. So I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, as even though I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid of this defense, I have said that they're playing better, and I think that this is a building progress of me drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm still not there. We know I got 2 weeks to go.
Nice. Next week, what's your okay with Texas next
Well,
week?
we're not talking about Texas yet. I'm not going to jinx nothing.
You can't.
I'm not going. Who's Texas play this week?
West Virginia.
Oh God. Yeah. So they won't learn anything from that.
Yeah. I mean,
they do have the 101st ranked passing defense.
West Virginia is as bad
and
as
what do they
Kansas.
call themselves?
DBU.
DBU, and they're 101st in passing defense.
That's all because Joe Burrow torched
They
them.
just wish.
Yeah.
They just have a whole lot of wishing going on down there.
They're sitting. What they're doing is they're listening to Matthew McConaughey too much.
Well, it's just what? They've not been relevant since the installation of the Texas Longhorn Network.
Yeah.
I mean, they have sucked since then. So,
could you imagine Matthew McConaughey walking in the locker room just
all right.
sit there and talk to you? I mean, Toby Keith don't go in the locker room.
How do you know?
They would publicize it.
Okay.
If they'd let anybody in the locker room, it needs to be JR. Did you see who was at the game last week?
You mean besides JR?
Besides JR and Toby?
I saw a picture. I can't remember who it was.
Big Mac.
Oh yeah, his son signed with the baseball team today.
Yeah. Mark McGuire was there, all dressed out in his OU gear. Ooh, we're going to be going to some baseball games this year,
You
Rob.
better believe it. You better believe it.
We'll be hanging out with Big Mac.
You know what's funny is this game that we're watching. They were talking about the Bash Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that if Caleb was a little older, he would have been a big fan of the Bash Brothers back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty. I watched the highlights. I mean, weren't they original steroid guys, pretty much?
Yeah, they were both tall, skinny kids.
Yeah, him and Canseco. I mean, they were both huge. I mean, the big guys.
Yeah, but they weren't not like they were 10 years later.
Oh no. But Mark McGuire. I mean, even though he wasn't, obviously got big quick.
Yeah.
His rookie year, he hit 49 home runs, which
Yeah.
was a record for a long time. And then he, started juicing up and got huge. But
McGuire was.
they were the Bash Brothers, I think, before steroids.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, but yeah,
but then the pretty original guys though, like with the steroids though, pretty much with the Bash
yeah,
Brothers.
yeah. I think Canseco was probably the.
Well, he's the one that started it, but
Yeah.
I mean,
So here's the thing. Mark McGuire was a good hitter before, okay? Then he, obviously he was steroids and he was killing the ball, but Mark McGuire knew when it was time to step away.
Mm-hmm.
Jose Canseco has baseballs bouncing off his forehead and going over the fence for home runs.
Yeah.
He did not know when to step away
Right.
and shut his mouth.
Yeah.
You didn't hear
'Cause
Mark
he's still
McGuire-
talking.
Yeah, still.
Yeah.
You didn't hear Mark McGuire doing that crap. So
Yeah, and then Sammy Sosa, which we don't know what Sammy Sosa is anymore. So, have you seen pictures of him? He's gone like Michael Jackson, bleached his skin.
oh man.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, isn't it, Caleb?
yeah. You can't, and he walks around cowboy hat and stuff like that too, cowboy clothes.
Well, the three of them,
Yeah.
Sosa, McGuire, and Canseco, will never make the Hall of Fame.
No. Well, and the sad thing is really Sosa and McGuire made baseball relevant again.
You're right.
I
Baseball
mean,
turned their head, looked the other way, so they could.
Yeah,
They're
so
out
they
there
could.
strike.
You know what? Canseco was part of that
yeah.
because
So-
it was exciting. I watched every athletic game that I could watch.
Oh, and
back
I
then.
watched every Cardinal game because you wanted to see him go yard. Where was he going to go?
You remember the home run derby?
They still have McDonald's Big Mac section and
Oh yeah. Well, you remember the home run derby that Mark McGuire won that year?
yeah,
He was hitting them out of Fenway.
yeah.
He was hitting them out into the parking lot, Caleb, at Fenway. I mean, it was like a 600-yard bomb or feet, whatever.
I remember Griffey doing that too. Griffey's swing is just so smooth. That it
No,
just looked
Griffey
cool.
had the greatest swing
Maybe the best pure hitter ever.
ever.
His injury screwed him.
Yep, bad back. But anyway, Mark McGuire was at the OU football game.
Yeah, and his son just signed on to OU baseball.
Yeah, so,
I'll
we-
be here more often.
we may have a Sooner baseball fan show come on. during the baseball season. Go hang out at the baseball field.
Yeah, I see old Skip all the time when I'm up there, so
Yeah.
I have to get him on the podcast.
Is it Holzheimer's son getting looked at to go there too?
Yeah,
Or
Holzheimer's
brother.
He's a big fan.
Yeah. But so nobody's expecting much of a game this weekend.
Better not be a game.
It better be somewhere around 70-7.
I can't see a problem with that.
Although I doubt it will be because at some point we'll go into vanilla run the football mode. So I'm probably more like 63.
Yeah. I'm just. Yeah. That's what this week to get over with. Honestly, I'm just ready for next week.
You ready for so Caleb? What you're saying is that you couldn't be a coach because you would overlook.
I'm pretty
Kansas.
sure almost all these practices this week were half Kansas, half Texas.
You think so?
Oh yeah. It's Kansas. They know if they go out there and just do the game plan, they're going to beat the crap out of them. I guarantee half the playbook this week was getting ready for Sam Ellinger and all them at Texas.
You're probably right. That's how teams get beat, though.
Yeah.
If we lose to Kansas, I mean, like, you deserve to lose. We deserve to have our program shut down.
You're right. I don't know, maybe that's going a little far, but you lost to Kansas. Okay, you're done.
Kansas was the only loss in one of our championship seasons. Was it 74-75? One of those two Kansas.
Yeah, but you know how much
Oklahoma.
you clown Texas for losing Kansas, and all of a sudden we lose to them. Like we deserve to get shut down.
I forgot.
Remember
Did
that
you
year that Kansas beat Texas?
Yeah. So yeah, if we lose to Kansas, close the whole program down.
No, we never close the whole program down.
Jeez, another one.
Another one.
God, one
They
inning.
just go yard again.
That was a laser
He has
shot.
like five.
too.
He has like 6 strikeouts and get like in the home run. So only thing you hit off of him is a home run, or he strikes you out.
Diaz.
So yesterday on Twitter, and it's been. Have you noticed it's been kind of quiet football week on Twitter?
Because he was playing Kansas. Like it's a good football week for everywhere else in
who
the
we
nation.
playing again?
Yeah, Kansas.
There's
There's a lot of good games on this weekend, but since we're playing Kansas, no one wants. There's nothing to talk about.
I tweeted out today also the All-State Sugar Bowl put out a tweet today. Eric Stryker recorded 7 tackles, including 3 sacks for a minus 23 yards, and also forced a fumble that was returned for a late game TD that clinched OU football's 45-31 upset of Alabama. And I retweeted that with, "This just in, Stryker just sacked McCarron again today." Which I think he probably did. I'm trying to find this here. There goes your.
So they just pull Manea because it's 4-0 Tampa Bay.
He has like 6-7 strikeouts.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. He's just
only got 4 hits, and they're all home runs.
I mean, he's a good pitcher.
Yeah, it's just.
But Lord,
But if the only hits you give up is home runs, it's going to cause you problems.
and their shots too, laser shots.
Let's see here. Where did it go? Y'all keep talking.
Yeah.
Trying to find this.
That's a good game. Like at Michigan versus Iowa. You got Ohio State, Michigan State. So look up Auburn versus Florida. That'd be interesting.
You think that'll be a good game? I think Florida's terrible, and I think Auburn's pretty good. So we'll see what happens.
That's not how good the quarterback is, because he's like hit and miss. Like he'll be terrible all game, but he'll make a play as when he needs to. And then they play like the next week. I think Auburn plays like LSU or something. So I mean, like.
So whoever wins that game, Auburn or Florida, next
us.
week will jump us.
Yeah, they'll jump us. Then if we beat Texas handily, we'll probably jump back in the top 5. Because the only thing ahead against us so far is just we haven't played anyone. But if we beat Texas handily, that'll change everything.
Okay, I want to read some of these because it came from fans or Twitter followers. But yesterday we tweeted out, with all this horns down stuff yesterday, we have one question. Does anybody know any Kansas football jokes? So.
Did you get some good ones?
Oh, yeah. Sooner Lisa says, you said horns down, now you must pay. Scott Higgins, our buddy Scott, that helps us with the tailgate. Did you hear KU is changing their mascot to the opossum since they play dead at home and get killed on the road?
I think the O is silent in that, Terry.
No, not in Oklahoma. It's not. It is an opossum.
Opossum. Okay.
It is. Look it up. Google it, Rob.
We don't just call it possum.
No.
Playing possum.
We don't have possums in Oklahoma.
We have opossums.
And there's a difference.
Okay.
When we get off the podcast, I'll show you.
I really don't care.
Somebody tweet Rob the difference between a possum and an opossum.
Go ahead. Opossum.
Demo put that he knows some jokes, but it wouldn't be an indictment on their basketball team. I get that.
Wait a minute. Hold up. I need to think about that one for a minute.
An indictment.
Oh.
Well, the football team
Go on, Demo.
the football team got 2 indictments too as well.
Yeah. Let's see. Did you hear Rudolph save the season? He's obviously a Steelers fan. Did you hear about the big power outage at KU Student Union? 40 Jayhawks were stuck on the escalator for 3 hours. How do you keep Rudolph sent a bunch of them. Rudolph saved the season. How do you keep a Jayhawks out of your yard? Put up a goal post. What does the average KU player get on their SATs? Drool. Wallace Marsh, or Buddy Wallace. How do you beat KU? Don't play them in basketball.
All right. Yeah, we have a little problem with that, don't we?
Yeah. OU fan 580 said, I do, but then they wouldn't shake my hand. Sammy Joy 45 says Les Miles, he's a joke. Rob 2336 said KU football. And fifth down foot, no punchline required. Big Boomer said, why'd the Jayhawks cross the road to go cheer for basketball?
They sold tickets to their practice, their basketball practice.
That doesn't surprise me. This one's a good one. DJ Love 5243 says, when Les Miles left LSU and landed in Kansas, the IQ in both states doubled.
Oh, boy.
Why doesn't KU have Rudolph save the season? He had a bunch of them. Why doesn't KU have ice on the sidelines? The guy with the recipe graduated. JD Fogel was, why is it so windy in Oklahoma? Because Kansas blows, and wait for it, Texas sucks. Yeah.
Texas sucks.
And then Doug Chappelle wrote, so this Longhorn walks into a bar. That's all.
All right.
What do you get when you drive by KU campus real slow?
A degree.
Yep.
Woot.
Yeah, and then throw in the trash is one who tweeted out that he their running back left the team.
Herbert,
Hebert,
something like that.
And then Brooke from Kansas said that she lives in Kansas, so I'm just wanting to see what people say.
Sorry, Brooke.
Thrown in the trash says their football recruit mailer say free basketball tickets. The reverse side is blank.
That's a lot of jewelry a guy has on.
God. It's like show me your beads.
Hey, those are
Beads.
crazy. Like they're sparkling. Dang, it looks crazy expensive. Why would you wear that? Like you slide and the thing shatters everywhere.
Be hilarious.
This is funny. Right Stuff, Andy Wright, tweeted, they reported secondary violations for football without winning a conference game in the past decade.
That is sad and funny at the same time. Yeah.
John Paget says Kansas has a football team. That's the joke. Let's see.
Poor A's can't handle bright lights, man. It's kind of sad to see.
Who can't
They're
handle?
done. Tampa Bay's just routing them now.
Tampa Bay, they play against the Yankees and Red Sox all the time, so they're used to primetime things. A's are like, nope.
Sacred tweeted out Baker knows some. Mike Honcho tweeted J-holes. Let's see. Ho-ass Tom Herman.
That's somebody's Twitter handle.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
KU ahead of the curve on the pay for play bill by a long time. I know that's basketball, but it's Kansas. They don't know football well.
They do have nice seats lower down. Did you see that their seats?
So
yeah, they're end zone. They're end zone seats.
Yeah, they're like nice leather, like lazy boys.
Yeah, lazy boys that
Are they heated? Because
Probably.
Lord have mercy, it gets cold up there.
Yes, it does. I mean, and this is no kid. When Kayla was little and wrestling, we were. I think I've told you this story before, but we were driving to Kansas to a wrestling tournament, and it was cold in Oklahoma. Okay, but I promise you, we crossed the Kansas line and it dropped like 20 degrees, and there was snow on. You know where the line is there. You know, in the Oklahoma-Kansas line, there was snow in Kansas and none in Oklahoma, and it was freezing. I mean, I just sat there and watched my temperature gauge drop. You know, the temp outside gauge drop in the car, like 10 or 15 degrees. It was ridiculous.
There's nothing there. I mean, it's just flat.
Like that, and New Mexico was cool, but when we went through there, like we were going to stop somewhere on the way to California. We went through a town. Like, we go to the next town. It wasn't for 40 miles. Yeah. The next town was there. It was a good thing we got gas for everybody because there's like this desert for 40 miles is nothing. The Kansas is kind of the same way too. Instead of desert, it's just corn.
Yeah, wheat,
and it's just like whatever the heck's there.
Flat. We'll have to find out from Hicks when it comes to the next tailgate why you would live in Kansas. That's what we need to.
Oh, is that where he lives?
Yeah, Kelvin.
I did not know that.
Yeah, Marcus.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he played in Wichita.
Yeah, he was a national champion
Kansas
wrestler.
Yeah, state champion wrestler. So
Wichita is actually like somewhat. I mean, Wichita's like a normal town. So, I mean,
and how do they have Kansas City in Kansas?
They also have Kansas City in Missouri.
Yeah.
Missouri.
Which one's bigger?
I think
Missouri is the bigger one.
That's where the Chiefs play at.
And the Royals. I think that's where all the sports teams are in Missouri. Everybody stayed out of Kansas. The Kansas side is the bad part of town, probably.
Missouri people hate Kansas too. Like Missouri-Kansas rivalry is like real. Like they hate each other, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, they play like when they were playing in Big 12. They play their games at Arrowhead. Like OU Texas play their games place.
Yeah, but there was like half the Arrowhead.
Except that one year when they were both with Chase Daniel and the Kansas number 2 teams, like 1 versus 2, Kansas Missouri, which was still a crazy year. They had Kansas Missouri 1 and 2. That place was sold out then.
I'm pretty sure that was sign 1 of the Apocalypse. We're waiting on sign 2.
That's when
right?
LSU won that national championship with 3 losses or something like that. That was the craziest year of football ever.
Okay, final thoughts, guys, on Kansas, Oklahoma.
Just get it over with.
Just Caleb, get it over.
I'm
with.
tired of Kansas. Kansas, man. Stupid Kansas.
Yeah, really. We just need to be thinking about getting out of the game without any injuries.
No injuries. That's the main thing. Don't get hurt. Show up, and just beat the crap out of them.
Yeah. I mean, I know that they're going to let Jalen get his numbers because, I mean, he's in the Heisman race. So, I mean, you want him to get those numbers. Right. So, let him just set him free in the first half. Let him do everything he needs to do, get those numbers, get him out.
I agree. Let's get past it. The only good thing about this weekend, it is an away game, so
it's early.
Rob doesn't have to work. No tailgate.
Hallelujah.
We're going to sit here at the Podcast Palace, kick back, and watch football all day Saturday.
Yeah, I said there's good games on the rest of the day.
Unfortunately, I will be going to a funeral.
After the game, during the game?
The funeral is later in the day, like 4 or 5 o'clock. So
you'll be able to come to the game, watch the game, right?
Yeah. But the drive is about 2 hours. So yeah.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. A friend of mine from high school, her mother passed away, and I want to, obviously be there for her and show her support and love, and it's just the kind of guy I am.
Yes, you are. I shouldn't have laughed at that, Rob. You truly are. You're a good friend and a good guy. Even though you can't get a sugar mama even when begging for one. I don't know what the problem is.
Everybody's broke, including me. But as soon as my kid graduates from college, I will not be broke.
You will not be broke. All right. Well, that's it, guys.
So if we take a picture of Rhett from now on, he can't do the horns down. So I'm just clarifying.
What's that?
No, he can do the horns down.
Wait, I said the roughnecks. That's everything in that little press thing.
Well, they just said everybody. It's a university deal that when you're doing publicity things for the university, you don't do it.
Yeah, if you're representing the university, they don't really want you doing it.
But we aren't affiliated with the university, right? So we can do whatever we want.
No. And remember, everybody, fist up for turnovers. Boomer Rob.
Boomer Terry.
Boomer Caleb.
Boomer.
Thanks for listening to the Sooner Football Fans Podcast. Sooner Football Fans Podcast is hosted by Rob Nixon, Terry Long, and occasionally Caleb Long. It is produced at the beautiful Podcast Palace in Norman, Oklahoma. Follow us on Twitter at SoonerFBFans and like our Facebook page at Facebook.com/Sooner Football Fans, and visit our website at www.SoonerFootballFans.com to read our blogs and keep up with our tailgating activities. Boomer Sooner, everyone.